Hi, I want to tell you about something that happened to me when I was in my 30s. I had really bad PMS. Now, here's what happened. I was going along just normal, just regular person, and then all of a sudden, about a week before my period would start, I would turn into a rage monster. Started out being a little bit irritated, and then all of a sudden, I just blew. It was so frustrating because the day my period started, I was normal again. I couldn't figure out what to do about it. I was very frustrated. I tried diet because that was basically all I knew back in those days, and it just didn't work. And then somebody introduced me to something called PhytoSterols. And I started taking this supplement, and it took a while. It took about, I'd say, 6 weeks. But I started taking 3 a day. Then I increased it. I doubled it for a while. Then I went back to 3 a day. And I didn't really notice anything at all until about a week before my period started. I was normal. Amazing. It was so cool. And then I started noticing that every single month I was stable. I wasn't having these huge emotional swings that I had had before. So I would like to take the opportunity to introduce you to what I know about hormones and hormone balance, not just for women, but for men too. And so you can understand what's going on and really what supplements might work to help you with your ups and downs, prostate conditions, anything related to menopause, any hormone stuff. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I am a researcher, and I have experienced the benefits of certain supplements for many, many years. And so I have done a lot of research on this, and so I think I've got something that you'll really benefit from. Hormones are responsible for essentially every single function in your body. In fact, I like to think of hormones as I am. You know, when you're sick, you have something like I have the flu or I have asthma, I have arthritis. With hormone stuff, it's more like I am. I am tired. I am happy. I am hungry. I am energetic. I am depressed. You get what I mean? Now, I looked up hormone imbalance and how to fix it on the internet. Look at what I found. Get enough sleep. Avoid light at night. Manage your stress. Exercise. Avoid sugar. Eat healthy fats. Eat lots of fiber. And eat plenty of fatty fish. Well, if you're like where I was, all that stuff just hasn't worked. And I needed a solution, and I bet you do too. Let's just review the endocrine system for a minute because there might be something that you haven't understood before that'll help you with this conversation. So the endocrine system, and you can see the organs here on the left of what the endocrine system comprises, it regulates everything from how we metabolize our food, how we function sexually. It even repairs tissue damage and influences our moods and energy levels. A prohormone like pregnenolone or DHEA or progesterone, these are the big molecules, the big mother hormones, and they are converted to hormones depending on the need that the body dictates. Some of these hormones are testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, and cortisone. For this conversation, there's a lot more, obviously. There's adrenal ones and thyroid ones, but let's just stick to the ones related to phytosterols right now. Now, there's a lot of problems that happen because hormones get out of balance. Obesity, high cholesterol, PMS, depression, lack of energy, premature aging, all of these things can be traced to hormonal irregularities. And remember, this isn't just women. Let's begin our discussion here with PMS because this is what interested me in the beginning. Now, there are two hormones that are involved in the menstrual cycle, and I'm sure you've heard of them, progesterone and estrogens. There's more than one estrogen. So you can see here that in a normal menstrual cycle, the estrogen is higher, it peaks, and then it goes down as the progesterone comes up once a month. Over here on the right side, it's possible that there's an imbalance between these two hormones. So the estrogen here peaks much higher than the previous one, but notice it stays higher. The progesterone never gets up over the levels of the estrogen. This is called estrogen dominance. So what scientists believe is happening here is there are low levels of progesterone and there is estrogen dominance, which triggers the PMS symptoms. Increased progesterone, therefore, will counteract estrogen dominance. And there are specific natural phytosterols that can help you increase your progesterone levels in your body without having to take drugs. Now let's go to the other end of the life spectrum and look at menopause. As a woman ages, somewhere between the ages of 45 and 55 typically, the amount of estrogen that's made in her ovaries starts to taper off so that she no longer has a menstrual cycle. Most women are just thrilled with this, but there's a lot of problems that happen. We start getting problems with our bone density, we start having trouble sleeping, we get hot flashes, etc., etc. So estrogen production is not absolutely gone. It's still made from a prohormone that I am not even going to try and pronounce. Now, progesterone and DHEA levels plummet. So this is really the issue, right? So we saw a problem with progesterone production in the PMS cycle, and now we're seeing the same phenomenon when it comes to menopause. So whereas PMS is the result of estrogen dominance and low progesterone on a cyclical basis, menopause creates chronic estrogen dominance because there's no progesterone being made in your body. So the question is, are menopausal symptoms natural? Do all human beings have this? Is this our lot in life? Well, no. What they've discovered is in Asian communities, particularly Japan, menopause really isn't a thing. Progesterone deficiency doesn't exist in cultures where people eat fresh vegetables and legumes that contain natural phytosterols. Now, the women in these cultures continue to have a strong sex drive, strong bones, and no menopausal symptoms. This is an indication that these foods that they're eating actually promote progesterone synthesis. So, is there any solution other than going to the doctor and getting drugs? Because I'll tell you, hormone replacement therapy is really popular, but it may not be good for you. Steroid drugs and hormones are available from physicians, but phytosterols are something else entirely. Phytosterols are natural substances in plants that are similar to hormones or hormone precursors. When humans eat certain plants, phytosterols are ingested and found in the serum and tissues of healthy people. Phytosterols have been shown to have a wide range of beneficial effects on the body, ranging from anti-inflammatory and cholesterol-reducing effects to immune-modulating activity. Our bodies have a mechanism for self-regulating, and when you give it the right plants, it will regulate itself and balance out. So these plant sterols are very interesting. They're just certain plants that have these properties that when you eat them, you get to experience amazing benefits. So let me talk about biochemistry for a minute so you get an idea of how all this works inside the body. First, you eat this food or you eat supplements that contain this food, and that creates pregnenolone. Pregnenolone is a big prohormone, and it converts to progesterone and DHEA. You've probably heard of both of these. The progesterone then converts to cortisol and cortisone, and the DHEA converts to testosterone and estrogen. So let's first look at progesterone, since that's what we've been talking about earlier. Notice that progesterone has a lot of functions in the body. It balances body fat. It balances salt and fluid retention. It promotes blood sugar balance. It protects against breast cancer and promotes bone strength. All of these are very important. Another huge thing, and I think this is why it impacts your moodiness during the PMS cycle etc. Progesterone levels also affect the hypothalamus. This is the organ in the brain that regulates body temperature, blood pressure, hunger, thirst, sex drive, and emotional reactions like fear and anger. Now, if there's a deficiency in progesterone, the hypothalamus becomes hyperactive. This can magnify conditions like PMS, emotional imbalances, high cholesterol even, and high blood pressure. Now, as I said earlier, you can go to the doctor and get a progesterone drug, and it's called progestin. Progestin is synthetic progesterone. But here's the rub about this. After age 65, it is recommended that women do not do hormone replacement therapy because of the impact it has on the cardiovascular system. So it's not only going to have an altered effect on your body throughout your cycle, from beginning as a young woman all the way to being an older woman. You want to take something that is plant-based, plant-sourced, so that you're experiencing the natural ability for your body to manage itself. Now, an interesting hormone that comes from progesterone is called cortisol. Cortisol, you've probably heard of cortisol. It's huge. It's called the stress hormone. So cortisol is very important in the body. You don't want to get rid of it. It regulates your blood pressure and cardiovascular function. When you're under stress, it creates glucose. The problem is imbalances. So high cortisol levels increase fat, anxiety, panic disorders, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and a suppressed immune system. And low cortisol levels increase depression and fatigue. So you can see how important balance is here. Another interesting thing is your body's ability to respond to cortisol changes as you age. Look here at this. Notice that a younger person, when they respond to stress, their cortisol levels go up some. Then as you age, it gets higher and higher. Look at 55 plus, the response to stress. So cortisol, or high levels of cortisol, become very significant the older you are. Now that was just the first pathway that pregnenolone does. Now let's look at the second pathway, which is DHEA. Now DHEA is a mother hormone. DHEA is used by our bodies to produce at least 50 other hormones that are important to your health. It's produced in the adrenal glands mostly, and also in the gonads and the brain. It's that important. Now you can go buy synthetic DHEA at the drugstore, but it's better for your body to synthesize its own hormones. There are problems when it comes to taking DHEA supplements, one of which is liver damage. DHEA levels decrease as we age. So let's look at some plants that contain phytosterols. I first want to talk about beta-sitosterol, stigmasterol, and chempesterol. These particular things have been used for centuries for prostate and urinary problems. They have anti-inflammatory properties, and there is a lot of research documenting the fact that it can reduce cholesterol levels. All right, that's the first one. Now let's look at Diascorea. Diascorea. There is some really great research out there on Diascorea. Diascorea villosa is called Mexican wild yam. Historically, for millennia, it has been used by healers, herbalists to help with PMS and menopausal discomforts. It also is an anti-inflammatory and can be used for joint pain. In addition, it stimulates digestion and supports the liver. So when you use an appropriate quality phytosterol supplement, you may get these benefits: prostate health benefits, PMS and menopause benefits, fat loss, allergy improvement like what happened with me, support your cardiovascular function, immune modulation, memory and thinking, arthritis and inflammation, cholesterol and diabetes. There is a wide range of benefits that can be used by taking phytosterols. Now this is just the science. But the truth of the matter is I have seen thousands of people experience benefits from this particular product that I use and that so many of my friends use. If someone introduced this video to you, get back to them. Find out about this amazing PhytoSterol supplement and what it can do for you. It doesn't cost very much. It really helps. And I'll tell you what, the company that sells it will offer you a 90-day money-back guarantee. Enjoy feeling the benefits of balance, feeling good, having energy, being calm, having no pain, and all the other benefits that you can have by taking PhytoSterols.